When we talk about beauty, we usually think of some kind of perfect ideal, right? Like there's this secret rule book that everyone just agrees on. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? Let's pull back the curtain and see what the science of personal beauty actually has to say.
So I'm going to start by asking you something directly. Are you beautiful? Just take a second and think about it. Whatever your immediate answer is, whatever feeling that question brings up, that response has been shaped by a lifetime of messages, some subtle, some not so subtle. And there's a really good reason for that. There is a massive, multi-billion-dollar industry that is built on making you feel like there's only one right answer to that question. And chances are that you don't quite measure up. But you could if you just buy what they're selling.
And that is exactly what we're going to dig into. We're going to push aside all the marketing, all the myths, and find out what the actual science says about what makes a person attractive. And I'm telling you, the answer is probably not what you're expecting.
This whole thing starts so early. I mean, think about it. From the fairy tales we hear as kids with the beautiful princesses and the, well, not so beautiful villains, we learn to connect beauty with being good and important. It's one of the first lessons we bet.
And that early lesson, it absolutely follows us into adulthood. We figure out pretty quick that our appearance affects how people see us, how they treat us, and even what they think about who we are. So naturally, we start to care a lot about the impression we make, which of course makes us the perfect target for that giant beauty industry we were just talking about.
And for a long time, science was kind of on board with this idea of a universal standard. You had researchers who were actively trying to find a single objective formula for beauty, like a math equation.
And this quest goes way back. I mean, look at this timeline. It kicked off in the 19th century with a guy named Sir Francis Galton. What he did was he layered photographs on top of each other to create these composite average faces. And he found that people consistently said these blended faces were the most beautiful. Now, fast forward to today, and we can do the same thing with digital software, and we get the same result. The idea was that we're just wired to prefer average, symmetrical features, maybe because they're a sign of good genes or something.
So if you boil all that early research down, the old rules of attraction were pretty simple. Averageness, symmetry, and features that kind of exaggerate what's considered typically male or female. Like high cheekbones or a strong jaw. And for decades, that was pretty much the final word from science. But lately, some new scientific tools have started poking holes in that whole one-size-fits-all model. And they've uncovered this huge factor that the old science was completely, totally missing: your individual taste. And the flaw they found is kind of wild when you think about it. By averaging everyone's beauty ratings together, the old studies were literally erasing the most interesting part of the whole thing: your personal preference. They were only looking at the tiny little sliver of agreement, and they were completely ignoring this vast, beautiful landscape of what makes someone attractive to you.
Yeah, this really breaks it down. See, on the left, you've got the old way, lumping everything together. But on the right, the new method, using these really advanced tools like mixed effect modeling, can do something that is, frankly, a game changer. It can actually separate the stuff everyone agrees on from the unique preferences of every single person. For the first time, science could actually measure the power of having a type. So, what happens when you use this new lens to look at attraction? Well, it completely flips our understanding. It shows us that attraction is really a balance of two different things. And the results are just wow. Okay, so at first sight, the very first time you meet someone, it's a perfect 50-50 split. Half of what you find attractive is based on those general, universal standards we talked about. But the other half, that is all you. It's your unique, personal taste. It's whether they have that one crooked smile or those specific eyes that you, and maybe only you, find totally captivating. But hang on, that's just the first impression. That's just a snapshot. The real question is, what happens after you actually get to know someone? Does that 50-50 balance change?
Oh, it doesn't just change, it completely flips on its head. As you spend more time with someone, whether it's minutes, hours, or days, those universal standards, they just fade into the background. And what takes over? Your individual taste. That personal connection, that compatibility, that becomes pretty much the only thing that matters in what you find beautiful.
So you might be asking, why do we have both of these things going on? Well, the theory is that they serve two totally different purposes for our survival.
The universal standards might just be a quick, dirty way to judge genetic fitness, but our individual tastes, they might be helping us find someone we're personally compatible with. A good partner, a great teammate. And we're not done yet. It actually goes a whole nother level deeper. This new science is showing us that attraction isn't just about what a person's face looks like. I mean, think about it. In real life, you're not just looking at a static photo, right? You experience the whole person. You hear their voice, you see the way they move, you might even notice their scent. Attraction is a full-body, multisensory experience. And here is where it gets super interesting. All those sensory things aren't separate. The research shows this incredibly strong link. If you find a person's face attractive, you're also super likely to find their voice, their movement, and, yep, even their scent attractive too. It all kind of goes together. So what does that tell us? It suggests that what you're really finding beautiful isn't just a list of things on the surface. It points to something unified, some kind of inner quality that's expressing itself through all these different channels. An essence that truly comes from within. Okay, so let's bring all this back home. What does this new science actually mean for you personally? Well, it means it's probably time we all redefined what beauty even is. Which brings us full circle, right back to that very first question. After everything we've just uncovered, let's ask it one more time. Are you beautiful? Well, the science of attraction gives us a pretty clear and powerful answer, and that answer is yes. Absolutely, 100% yes, because real beauty isn't about fitting into some impossible generic mold. It's about something way more profound. It's about personal compatibility. You are beautiful to the people whose unique tastes and values and quirks perfectly align with yours. And I want to leave you with this one last idea to chew on. Beauty isn't a verdict that gets passed on you. It's not a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's a dialogue. It's this dynamic, living connection that you build with the people who matter. It's a space where your unique self, in all its richness, gets to write its own answer.